Welcome back to the Legalese Show. I'm your host, Ryan Peabody. I'm here with my friend and entrepreneur and dynamic pediatric physical therapist, Emily Heisey. Emily, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes.
I've got a lot of questions for you.
I'm ready.
Today we're going to talk about how Emily got into the world of PT, kind of her experience at larger organizations, and now you've created your own PT business. You're hiring people, and your business is blowing up.
It's crazy. It's busy.
Yeah, your social media presence is amazing. I'm envious of what you're doing. So maybe you can give me some tips and tricks.
Let's do that.
Give our audience some pointers on what they can do to kind of help build their business.
Okay.
So yeah, let's jump right into it.
Okay.
So getting into physical therapy, obviously that's a professional vocation. It takes a lot of education, a lot of time. So when that's the prerequisite. But what we're talking about here is entrepreneurialism, building a business. You're a female business owner. We're going to touch on that, maybe some of your unique challenges and some of the things you've done right and wrong. We're going to get into these things. But first I want to know is, so you're going to school, you're finishing school, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, now I'm going to transition into my career. Did you always want to own your own business, or did you want to go work for another company, or where was your starting point? Right at that turning point in your life.
Right at the beginning. Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think I was ever like, I want to be a business owner. It seemed like a lot of work. I just wanted to kind of go with the flow. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. But I quickly found out after that first job that I don't really like that. I like to do my own thing, and I'm very passionate, and I like to take extra time to do things. And really, I don't like to be micromanaged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
So it's like, I don't want to see 15 patients in this short amount of time and not have enough time to do the care that I want to do. So now having my own business, I get to stay with that patient as long as I want. And that makes me feel better because I know they're getting better. And so it's just, I make my own rules.
Did you always want to do kid care, pediatrics?
No, I don't really like kids.
Yeah, right.
I mean, growing up, I never babysat. I have two older brothers. And so I just decided after doing one of my clinical rotations that kids were fun. And they don't have the emotion of depression. And it was so challenging for me working with adults because it would just beat me down. And so with kids, give them some bubbles and some stickers and they're like so happy.
Right.
And so you can be creative and every day is different. I needed that for me.
Did you find that out pretty quickly as you transitioned into your professional vocation?
Yeah, I mean, this was during probably my second clinical rotation. So we still had about 1 year school after that. So I knew I wanted to specialize. I knew that's where I wanted to go.
So you're starting to point towards helping kids, doing the pediatric stuff. And I guess pediatrics is what, infant all the way to 18 years old? Is that the traditional pediatrics? Okay. So you're starting to work with them. And at what point, I mean, how many years in were you before you were like, listen, I don't like kind of working for the man. I want to do my own thing. Did that happen pretty quick?
I think that I was thinking it in my head, but since my husband has his own business and he would be like, are you sure you want to keep doing this like that? And I'm like, I don't know, planting the seed. Yeah. And I think really is what solidified it was having children and knowing that I can't go back to working that many hours, leaving at 7 a.m. and coming back at 7:30 at night.
Yeah. And
when I wanted to go back to work after Hannah and Heidi were born, there wasn't a job open that had the availability and the flexibility out there.
Yeah.
So I had to make my own.
Well, I know for me, being a business owner myself with the law firm and I have various other businesses that I operate, the flexibility to me is huge. I'm not a stranger to putting in a lot of time, a lot of hard work, trying to strike that work-life balance.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, the flexibility for me to say, okay, I'm going to go do this marketing thing, or I'm actually going to take these 2 days off, and I planned that in advance. I don't have to ask anybody's permission.
Yeah.
Is that kind of a good fit for you and your family?
It is. It is because, I mean, even as something as easy as if the girls get out of school early, come up to the office and see me. I can find little time
That's
little
great.
slots in my schedule to where I get to spend time with them. And maybe it's not the traditional way of doing it, but it works for our family. And honestly, I feel like I get more quality time as compared to quantity, because we have different things we're doing throughout the day, and it just makes sense to both of us. But yeah, I don't want someone telling me when I can't go on vacation or go see my kids or just anything. I'm not a team player.
Which has obviously played to your advantage. And I think it's different being on the team, being a member of a team, and being kind of the leader of that team, or your own boss, and people work for you. It's just a different dynamic.
Well, yeah, and I have a passion for teaching. I have a passion for making everyone love it as much as I do, which I know is not always the case. But I think that's why this business has grown so much, and through Instagram too, is because people see the passion, they see how excited I am, and then they get excited about their job. And they're like, man, I want to be that physical therapist. So I really feel like it's touching people too, just by me taking my own kind of journey out there.
So you hit on Instagram, and how many Instagram and social media followers, ballpark, would you say that you have in the delivery of your PT, kind of in that virtual platform?
So how many do I have how many followers do I have in general?
Yeah, just in general. How many people are you reaching?
Yeah, so I
with your
have
specialty?
About 39,000 followers right
amazing.
now.
That's
And
amazing.
it's from June until now, I've gained like 13,000. The coolest thing about this is it's not just therapists that I'm getting. It's moms in Saudi Arabia and Ireland and
all around the world.
Singapore. And they're messaging me and they're saying, I've never been able to have
amazing.
access to this information, and educating them and making them feel like they have the power, and not always, I guess, relying on a doctor to tell them this or that. It really calms a mom's nerves and makes them feel like they're doing something right.
So what are we talking about? What kind of information are you putting out there that these moms are seeking out on behalf of their kids?
Yeah. So my Instagram account is very educational based, and these are things that moms have questions about, but they don't necessarily get the answers on.
For PT and for kids?
Just for
that
kids
kind of
development,
stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk, my kid isn't walking and they're 16 months. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Well, could it be that they have some pronated ankles? What kind of shoes to get a kid for their first pair of shoes?
Yeah.
Right?
I have no idea.
I know. So what kind of activities am I supposed to do with a 3-month-old? They just look like they sit there all the time or lay there. Is there something I'm supposed to be doing? Sure, okay.
So you're creating content, answering these frequently asked questions, and putting it out there.
Yes.
Okay, we're trying to do the similar thing with law.
Yeah.
Just going to answer legal frequently asked questions. So, and we can get back to that. But so you're creating content, and so for our users that want to utilize their social media, because a lot of them are pretty good at social media.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
they're creating content, and they don't even know they're good at it in many cases. So let's take that skill set and let's apply it to our business, and actually, put out a service or a good information. So you're creating content. How do you get it out there? Is it just everyday videos, or are you creating more of a formal setting like we have here in the office or the studio? Or what are you doing?
The interesting thing about Instagram, and I don't think I really knew this until I got into it more, was there is a lot of people trying to do it, right? There's a lot of people that are trying to find their niche and put their information out there. And why are some people succeeding and why others aren't? And I think what it comes down to is you have to put yourself, your personality. People are gonna like your information, but they wanna like you. So what I found is I have to really show a lot of me, show my personality and what I'm doing. And that's what people gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So I think my best advice for someone who's trying to start an Instagram account would be, what makes you great as an individual, and can you monetize on that? I'm an extra person. I've got an extra type of personality. I'm very blunt and kind of in your face and silly, and people like that.
What I'm picking up on is that's the authentic Emily.
Yes.
So you have a passion for what you do, you're authentic, and you're putting that information out in an authentic way. I mean, when I watch YouTube, or I watch clips or videos from a variety of social media outlets, the ones I'm attracted to and the ones I stay with the most tend to be the ones where somebody, it strikes me as real, authentic.
Yes.
They're not trying to produce a result that they think that I want to consume. It just, they're naturally putting that information out there, and I go, okay, well I'm interested in that. I'm not looking for production value. I'm looking for raw, real, unfiltered answers that can improve my life and the life of my family.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing that really sets my Instagram apart is, I would say 80% of it is just like raw video.
Really?
Raw video from kiddos and me working together, and really no other accounts have that. And I show the progress from day 1 to day 12 or whatever.
What are you shooting it on? Like an iPhone?
iPhone.
Really?
Yep.
Just the traditional, hey, I'm going to do the video, put it up there. And is that how you've built your following?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
who's doing likes and subscribes for you? Is it like somebody, like a mom will say, hey, this is great for my kid. I'm in this community. I know someone else that also might need this, and they shoot it off.
Right. So mom groups. So one mom will be a follower of mine, and this other mom may ask, why isn't my baby crawling? Oh, you need to follow Kinesio Kids. And then now you get 100
That's your
follows.
business, Kinesio Kids. Okay.
Or
we'll put a link to that in the bottom of the description. So check out Kinesio Kids if you want to get more information on Emily.
Yeah, and other ways is other physical therapists are actually using my account to teach in this virtual, world we're living in now, right?
Okay.
And so, because I have so many videos, they can say, Mom, come over here. I want you to watch this video, and this is how it needs to be done. This is how you teach your kid how to crawl. Because again, no one really has videos out there of kids doing it, and my patients are just such a blessing that they let me do that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's really helped.
I mean, they wouldn't let you if they didn't think that you were real. Again, the authenticity component is just huge.
For sure.
Because I don't expect you to know, and people don't expect me as a lawyer with what I do to have all of the answers. Yeah, I've got some good experience. Yes, we take a lot of care in what we do. But if I don't know something, I don't pretend to know.
Well, sure.
Or I'll tell them I can look it up.
But that's the best thing, is people want to know that you're not great at everything. And me being a mother myself, I have made so many mistakes. I mean, literally, when Hannah was 3 months old, put her in the baby carrier, just slipped right out on the floor.
Oh, no.
Not great. But moms want to know that, because that makes them feel like they're not doing things wrong all the time, and they're not a failure.
Yeah, kind of like tips and trips
it's like,
for real life.
Right. We always have that mom guilt. So I can get on their page. I can get on their level because I'm doing it myself.
I love that you're putting content out for real life rather than kind of manufactured content.
Yeah.
I see a lot of larger organizations that get beat out on their content by people like you, because they're sending it over to a huge marketing firm.
Yeah.
They're designing by committee, and they're trying to put a one-size-fits-all, which I'm not interested in one-size-fits-all. I'm interested in custom work, custom to my clients, because that's what's going to suit their needs the best, and that's where they're going to get the most bang for their buck.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like you're exactly that.
I mean, really, people ask me all the time, where do you get all your content from? I get it day by day. I have nothing. I have nothing written out, and it just happens that there's a story in that day, and I put it out there.
Yeah. So. No, that's great. I love that. So your office is here in Southlake, Texas, but you're getting a larger and larger kind of that virtual digital library of content that people can access. I happen to know that you also live in the area, and I bring that up because I think that's a perk of having your own business. That was certainly a perk for me. I live pretty close, so my drive time, my commute is not 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. I've been there. I've done that.
Yes.
I don't enjoy it.
No.
So, does that help with your work-life balance?
Oh, my goodness, yes. I mean, if I need to pop home, I'm literally 1 mile.
Really?
Literally 1
mile.
mile.
I didn't even realize it was that close.
From
great.
home. So I can pop up here anytime I want. The girls have a little space up there that they can play in if I'm doing a session. Yeah. I mean, it's just convenient. If I forgot something, go back, go grab it. Yeah, and I mean, to me, I don't need to be wasting the time on the drive. I just want it to be a really convenient place to where they can more so fit into my family. Okay. Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of the pros of being an entrepreneur, owning your own business. what are what have been some of the challenges that you've had kind of getting up and going and getting it started? And what were your fears? Were they valid fears?
Yeah, I think I'm not a business person by nature.
I'd say most people aren't.
Yeah, I don't think about the numbers. I don't think about distributing, allocating. I don't think about how you need to put different money here, put it here. And
I think that's a great example.
Yeah.
We did an episode on that. Check that out, by the way. Who you build on your team, lawyers, accountants.
Right. You just surround yourself with
add
people.
these people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I knew what I wasn't good at. And that was a lot of it. So I have my lawyer. I have my marketing guy. I have an assistant. I have a graphics design person. I have a website manager. And these are all the people who kind of kept me on track because honestly, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then I kind of lose sight of what I'm good at because I get into all the, this and that of what the business aspect of it. So
you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think really just the hardest part is not getting overwhelmed and asking for help from people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. So has that been a good strategy for you?
It has, yeah.
Bringing those people on?
Yes. I mean, that's kept me on track because those are the people that really run everything. I just go where I'm told and do what I need to do. And that's the stuff I'm good at. And everyone else kind of makes that path nice and fluid.
Yeah. So you can focus on your core competencies.
Yeah.
So for an entrepreneur, particularly for people like yourselves, kind of the young women out there that are trying to get their business going, whatever it may be, what would you recommend to them as kind of that good starting point if they want to get their own business going in any industry?
Yeah, I think it's first being confident in your skill set.
Oh, yes.
And knowing that without anything else, I mean, you're great at this. You need to think you're great at it or no one else is going to think you're going to believe you're great at it. So know your product and be able to sell that product. That's kind of where you need to start. After that, I feel like really surrounding yourself, with a team that can help build this for you, kind of this empire or whatever. Pick the people, if they're good at finances, get a financial planner.
Sure.
The legal side of it, get a lawyer, because it all can get very fussy and very overwhelming and makes you just want to stop doing it. So, especially as a mother too, you need to kind of make those things that you're not good at, give it to other people so that you can be a mom and not worry about the little stuff.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that strikes right to the core of who our audience is. People want to know, I think the word of the day here is going to be authentic.
Yeah.
They want to know how to be authentic and real and not get lost in the weeds and how to build that kind of stuff up. And it sounds like you've done that, you're doing it. And so let's call this part one. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back with part two. And I think that Emily has a few questions for me.
I do.
With legal, so that'll be a time where you can ask me frequently asked questions for a business owner. I'll see if I can give you an answer.
Love that.
So let's take a pause here. Thank you for watching the Legalese Show. This is part one. Look for part two. It's coming down the pipe, and we'll see you next week.